to increase the visibility of women in architecture on social media. So we are doing a lot of social media coverage because we feel that if we blow the world out with women in architecture, then there will be no doubt for any woman in any part of the world to even second guess yourself. And the other thing that we are also doing is to show the different categories of architects, right? Because architecture is broad. Like what we are doing is architecture journalism, where we're saying, Josephine, your story, what makes you amazing, what makes you tick, what has made you successful to this point, what has motivated you. But then, so like what you're doing is architecture journalism. Many architects are doing the typical design and build, but there's also architecture research. There's also architecture consulting. There's also architectural academia. There's also architecture specialization. For instance, you can be a material specialist. You can specialize in glass as an architect. You can work with international organizations. You can be an architect in UN Habitat, for instance. You can be an architect in the World Bank. You can be an architect in UN Women. So part of what we're also doing is to increase the visibility, to also show that, like you're saying, Josephine, that there are different packages of being an architect. It's not only the office, draw, go to site, build. There's a whole diversity in the architectural world, and there's so much in place for women. And, you know, the sky is not even our limit. Architect Bazira.
Yes, Jennifer. So first of all, thank you for that recognition. I wasn't expecting it. I'm here blushing. If I was white, gosh, I'd be red. I like what the ladies have said, and that's why I wanted to have like younger architects. They're not bound by the same cultural and traditional norms like our generation would be bound by, because we grew up when things were crossing over, when women were getting emancipated, but there were still cultural things happening. So for you and I to even get to architecture school was such like, wow, you're an architect! But now it is
the thing happening.
Well, yes, we were everywhere you went, because you had to go with your T-squares and all that. Everyone was looking at you and saying, wow, you must be very brilliant. You must be almost masculine. That's what they kept on expecting. But they come and they're talking to you and they're, but you, how come you're not as aggressive as ABCDE? But anyway, yeah, so that's why I wanted to listen to some of the younger generations and what they actually perceive of this thing. But that recognition that you've just done is what I think we also need to do as women. The biggest setback for women is women, in my opinion. We need to be able to support each other. If I see Jenny flying, I should be able to support Jenny and lift Jenny up. Yeah, applaud her, recognize her, and say, okay, she did this. But some of our cultures kind of suggest that we should be jealous and envious and so forth. So we ourselves in leadership, especially the architectural fraternity, we are leaders by training. That's what they've taught us to be, leaders in construction, leaders in different aspects. So we ourselves have to be the change that we want to see. If you see a woman excelling at something, let's applaud her, let's make her visible, not take her down. Let's not tear her down, let us lift her up, so to speak. Yeah, that is the one thing that architects need to do, because we have that skill. We understand what architecture is. Things are different, people look different, buildings look different. That whole variety of things should be allowing us, and our knowledge on social issues and other aspects should allow us to be able to see the good in some of these things, but sometimes we ourselves tear ourselves down. So we need to be that change. Particularly, you want to say that you want people to be applauded, applaud others. You say you want women to be more in leadership, take on leadership roles. You want, someone was talking about lobbying for policies to be changed. Begin the lobby. You get what I'm saying? Let's not shy away from those positions, because that is what generally the world has taught us to be, that we should shy away from this, we should take on these minor roles, you shouldn't be up here, you shouldn't be doing this. So let us be that change, in summary, for all the things that we want the profession to be like. I have a challenge, I must say, hiring women, because I have to really think about it. Our laws, for instance, give a woman most 6 months of maternity leave. Now, you and I, Jenny, we grew up in a generation where if you were in this position, you had to prove yourself. You have to prove that, yes, you're a woman. And despite being a woman, yes, if despite the fact that you're a woman, you can do all these things that a man has done. So that thing of yours, like for instance, when you had the children, they had the same experience here, but I had a good boss. I would get up in the middle of the day, they tell you the child is sick, you have to get up and go and deal with the child. You're coming to work in the morning with your eyes all droopy and you're tired, but you need an understanding boss. But then that thing of you have to prove that despite the fact that I have gone to deal with my child or gone to deal with my other traditional roles, that I have had to, that I can come back and work that much more. And that is what I would tell the young girls, that is the only way you will get by or get forward, to show that. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to ignore your child or anything, but when you're present, be present. So that understanding was a bit difficult for me before I had a child, that why is this woman going and then she's coming back, she's tired, and ABCDE. So when I got my own, I realized that, by the way, it is 2 jobs in one. You're being a mother, you're being a wife, you're being, not even 2 jobs, you're doing many things at the same time. So that empathy is also needed, even as we go about our leadership and employment and all that. Because I used to have a challenge with, why is she moody? Why is she ABCD issue? She should just come and bring it. So I am now, so I am now being the change that I want to see. So, so that is the main thing. And yes, visibility, showing people what women can do. At the fraternity here in USA this year we did, because our leadership, as you know, Jenny, is women. Our president is female. I think even the Kenyan president of the Architects Association of Kenya and the Uganda Society of Architects are women. I am on that board, I'm on that council also. Our honorary secretaries and that council, we have 2 other ladies also on that particular council. So that when you take on a leadership role is when you actually get visibility. I wouldn't probably be speaking right now if I didn't have the position of chairman board of practice. Yes. And sometimes I will admit this, that before I used to reject this position because I know the volume of work it involves. But now my children are older, so I can actually have time to actually engage in some of these matters. So when I say be the change you want to see, is whatever you're thinking, this should be happening. You do it, you be it. That is the best thing that we can do for each other. Yeah, that's what I say.
Amazing, Gloria. If I knew what you were going to say, I would have made you close the meeting. But we need to take someone else. And I like what you said. Be the change that you want to see.